This is my B8 Audi S4. Today I'm going to try and go over a few of the really cheap, straightforward, simple, affordable and easy mods that can be done to these. These are a few of the mods that I've done to my car that I'm going to try and share with you. All of these have cost me less than £500, some even less than 20. Hi guys and welcome back. So today I'm going to try and cover what I think the top 5 mods are on this platform of A4, S4, B8 and B8.5, as well as maybe an A5, an S5 and even an RS5. These are all going to be easy things to do and quite straightforward, so we're not going to get too complicated too soon. If you're new to the channel as well, tap down below and hit subscribe. I've also got plenty of content on this car as well, so if you do want to take a look at that, of course, at the end of the video, I'll leave you some links so you can see how this build's going. So we're going to dive straight into it at number 5, which is a gloss black D-chrome. So the D-chrome is basically the roof rails, which will only apply if you have the estate or a van. As well as that, around the window trims here, you can see the gloss black shadow trim. It's all been covered up in gloss black. These trims, they're usually silver, and what I've done, I've wrapped them in gloss black. It's quite cheap and easy to do. At first, it can be quite tricky to do, but the more that you do it, the easier it gets. So you're going to need somewhere between 10 to 50 meters of, I'd say, 2 to 3 inch vinyl wrap. This could either be gloss black or matte black. As you can see, my preference is gloss black. I'd say 2 to 3 inches because what you want to do is you want to tuck it into all of the areas and make sure that you get full coverage and everything. If we open the door now, you can see that inside of here we can tuck it under so that when you open the door you're not going to see any leftover silver or a different colour under there. So it's much easier to do that if you get 2 to 3 inches of it. Doing the outer door trims themselves aren't too bad. The top bit though is a bit more tricky because we've got a radius on here and we need to try and tuck it around the back of that. As you go along with it, you want to heat the vinyl wrap up to try and stretch it around there to get rid of any bubbles or any sort of defects that are in there. To do this, you'll also need either a heat gun or a hairdryer, and personally I'd recommend a heat gun, but try not to get it too hot because you don't want to cause damage to anything else. I'd also recommend that you get yourself a small vinyl wrapping kit to do this because it will make it much easier trying to tuck it into all the difficult areas such as down under here and down behind the top bit of it. You'll also need a small and sharp knife to trim away any excess trim, and I'd say it's better to be sharp because as soon as you try and slide it along the edge, if it's a nice sharp blade it'll make a nice clean cut, and if it's a blunt blade it'll cause you more issues and it could tear the wrap itself. It's also a good idea to put some masking tape on the paintwork so that when you're doing this you're not going to cause any damage to the paintwork, and that when you've wrapped it and trimmed it off you can pull it straight off nice and easy and you won't cause any scratches or defects to your paint. Of course, try and cut it at an angle that's not going to damage any paintwork or scratch along the side of it. If you have a coupe or a saloon, you won't also need to do this top bit here, which will make it a bit quicker and easier to do, because that's probably one of the more difficult things when you're doing this well. If you can, where you get to corners, try and cut it in a circle, because that way as you heat it up it won't split off and cause you any issues. It can also be quite time consuming, so if you do want to do it you can also do it in little bit by little bit. If you do want to see how I've done this, then there's a link up there for you. Okay, so on to number 4, let's pop around to the front. Number 4 is going to be the gloss black honeycomb grille. You can usually get these on eBay or Temu. I think the honeycomb grille massively improves the overall appearance at the front of it, and it makes it look a lot cleaner and a lot newer. I've also got honeycomb fog light covers, which is another option, but if you've got an S-line or a non-S line, you want to make sure that you get the right one for your car, as well as the B8 and B8.5. They're going to be slightly different. You can usually tell the facelift and the non-facelift on the top right corners. The ones that are pre-facelift like this are a bit more curved, but the ones that are a facelift are a bit more angular. These S4s have the S-line bumper, so as you can see on this, they're slightly thinned as they're closer to the honeycomb grille. That's usually how you can tell, so you don't want to make the same mistake I did, because originally I ordered the ones for the non-S-line bumper and they didn't actually fit. To fit the honeycomb grille, you do need to take the front bumper off. To do the fog light covers though, you can literally just pull them straight out without having to go to all that hassle. To take the front bumper off, you need to undo about 3 10mm bolts each side under the wing, as well as undoing a few Torx bolts on the top and underneath it. It's fairly straightforward to do if you're competent though. If you want to see how tricky it is, I'll leave a link just up there for you in case you want to take a look. And overall, I'd say it'd probably take someone fairly competent between an hour to 2 hours to do overall. Coming in at number 3 is the rear diffuser. There's a variety of different choices out there, not just carbon, there's some gloss black ones, different sorts of styles, but I feel like it massively improves the overall outside appearance of the car, and it's much easier to keep clean, and it looks a lot better than the faded old plastic ones that you have from factory. Overall, along with the honeycomb grills, I feel like adding the gloss black or carbon diffuser really makes the car feel a lot fresher and look a lot newer on the outside. So this is really easy to take off. You don't need to remove the rear bumper or anything like that. To get it off, you just need to undo 3 Torx 25 bolts on the bottom of it, as well as slowly prising it out of the clips you can literally slide the new one straight in. Okay, so number 2 is the wheel spaces. On this car, I've got 50mm on the front and 25mm on the back. You can get a variety of different spaces out there, but personally, I'd recommend that you get hub-centric spaces, and it will vary for what wheel you have in the car, but it makes the car look a lot wider and it sits a lot better in those arches, whether the car's lowered or it's not lowered. And you can get these for probably somewhere between £50 to £100. Wheel spaces improve the overall look on the outside of the car, as well as filling any sort of arch gap. Of course, it will vary car to car depending what sort of setup you have, but I think they've made a big difference overall, because before I put this wheel space on, these looked a bit lost in the arches. So make sure you get the right ones for your car depending how it's set up. And it's so easy to do. All you need to do is take the wheels off, bolt them onto the hub, and then you bolt those over the top. Of course, you can get non-hub centric ones, but personally I feel like the hub centric spaces are a lot better, and they're probably a lot safer too. Another little bonus before we get on to number 1, it's also going to be painting either your wheels or your calipers. Is going to make a huge difference overall to the outside look of your car. Of course, it's your choice whatever colour you want to do it, and I think that's what's also brilliant about it. You can make it your own. So let's get on to number 1. Coming in hot at number 1 then is wrapping your dash trims in vinyl wrap. Of course, you can do it in any sort of thing you want, and it's really easy to do. And I think the main reason for me this is number 1 is because most of the time you sat inside the car, and it massively overall improves the inside feel of the car. And when you're looking ahead of you, it's a lot of a nice feeling when you're surrounded by a nice interior where you're going to be spending most of your time. To get these trims off, all you need to do is gently prise them away. The only one that's a bit tricky is the centre console down here. To do that, you could either do it in the car, how it is like I've done, or you could remove the whole centre console. And to remove that, you need a few Torx bolts. It's not awfully difficult. You could give it a go, or you could literally just wrap it where it is inside of the car. The rest of them, they pull straight off, or you can just prise them away, and you can get as creative as you like with that. You can do them in any sort of wrap that you want. If you wanted to do them in fluorescent pink and you didn't like it, you could just pull it off. And to do this, you don't really need any vinyl wrap tools to do it. You just need a knife, a heat gun, and you can take them off one by one. Really easy, just prise them out and just wrap it around it. It's really straightforward. To me, this is number 1 because it's probably the best overall all-around thing. It's really easy to do. Most of the dash trims, they all pull straight off. It's also quite cheap to do, and you can get as creative as you want with it. To be fair, there's no exact order for these, but I think there are 5 things that are quite easy to do that make a huge overall difference to these cars, and that kind of make it a bit more your own car instead of a factory-based sort of car. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope this has helped some of you out and given you a rough idea and a few of the easy, sort of quite effective ways that you can modify these cars and improve them just that a little bit more. If you want to see more content on this, I'll leave a link at the end of the video for you, and you can binge yourself to death on it. If you're new to the channel as well, make sure you've tapped down below and you've hit that subscribe button. So I'll catch you next video, guys. See you in a bit.